Hi guys, welcome back to the Try Time Podcast YouTube channel. I'm Callum.
And I'm Matt.
And we are here with the fourth instalment of the 12 team in Super League who we think it should be. We are with York City Knights this time. We've done Bradford, we've done London, we've done Toulouse. All being received really well by you guys, which we thank you a lot for. And I think we're just going to get straight into York, really. If you've been watching the other ones, you know what to expect by now. You know the order and everything like that. So let's get into it with the academy.
It's on the channel.
Yeah, it's linked down below as well. So academy. So I've got some. I'll give the facts about the academy. I have done a lot of research into this. They don't have an official academy at the minute, but they have seemed to in a lot of articles spoke about how once they're given the opportunity, they would like to apply for an academy. And I imagine getting this 12th spot would lead to the academy becoming developed. I think what York want to do, from what I've looked into and what I know already, is they want to build a club up almost from the ground and make it the biggest thing in the city, the biggest sport team in the city in York, and that will.
Really. I mean, no offense to the York City Football Club fans, but it's not a massive club on the fringe. In fact, I think they're in non-league football now, aren't they? It's a good chance the minute they are, to become the majority sport in the local area, which you can't say about many other of these teams actually.
Yeah, and it's not like York don't have some really good amateur teams as well, so there definitely is some young talent that is there to be used, like 100%. So I think academy, they potentially don't tick the box right now, but I think if you're going to pick York, then you're going to know long term that academy talent pathway is going to be coming in.
It's not a tick in the box,
soon,
but it's probably not an X either. It's probably just a half point.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll move on now to the fan base, which I think is definitely growing. I almost think it's like a neutrals club, whereas I've seen a lot, because it's like a club that seems to have just come sort of up from nothing recently, and like the way they've rebuilt really well with all the just sort of like not influx a load of money in there. They've just sort of built the way up nicely, and I think that's got a lot of neutral fans. I know I was at the Bradford York game in League One, the year where we were both in League One, where we battled it out. First game of the season, and there were a load of Hull KR fans there actually supporting the York team. So I think the fan base is also growing with having like their own fan base and growing within York and getting the fans in. So I think in Super League it definitely won't look out of place.
Yeah, I think that's
I don't know what you think about it. I know you probably don't, as you don't really, obviously you're a Super League fan, like your Sport League, so you're not going to like these games. You don't know how many York pull away. Like I've seen York travel quite well to Bradford games.
The one thing I will say about York's fan base is even if they aren't the biggest numerically, they've got a big advantage in the sense that they have a very good set of transport links into that city, and
it's a very modern city, isn't it? With the transport and stuff like that. Yeah.
I mean,
100%.
I can't think of anywhere actually that you think that's really difficult to get to. In terms of who they're playing in Super League, other than obviously Catalans, which is the same problem that everyone else has, in sense of that it's a playing away. So that's got going for them, and I think they will get a few on the away day, because like you say, they're a well-liked club that people want to go see. And
especially with a new ground as well, which we're going to get onto.
You're not going to get rained on some tin pot shed like you are at Weldon Road or Probit's Coliseum or the Jungle or whatever you want to call it these days. So
definitely,
it's a nice ground, and I think that will entice people in too.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll move on to ground, even though we have just touched on it. It is obviously a new ground that they have got. Out of the options, out of the 6 we're speaking about in these videos, it probably is the best, realistically. And I think it would be it'd be so refreshing to see a stadium like this in Super League. You're watching Sky on a Friday night, and it's not your classic Halliwell Jones Stadium or Totally Wicked Stadium that you see in which. They're great stadium. They're great stadiums, but especially in this COVID era, they're the only, and Headingley as well. Having a stadium like this, where it's like
having
if you're thinking of a team coming up.
Joe Tompkins' finger a player on it is definitely refreshing.
Oh, that's the 4th episode of these in a row where he has got that.
The Easter
I don't even know what's up. Yeah,
if you've not heard the other 3, go watch them again. See how I've managed to hopefully subtly put it in there. It's probably not.
So we will move on from ground to the recent performance, which I think has been very good. There was third in 2019, which is really good to say they had only just been promoted that the season before that.
I agree, but I think this is the weakest area for them. This is where I think
I'm going to say it's not the best out of the 6 options, but it's definitely not the worst. If you think about it, a promotion from League One is the same as Bradford had in the exact same season. They were the 2 promoted teams.
Yeah, but
so you're going to make the case for
Bradford's case, and I think the only thing that differentiates
100%.
Is York haven't had the longer term success that Bradford had. But even then, I mean, how far do you go back? You say they were champions 16 years ago. That's not really relevant.
Yeah,
now.
Definitely.
If we talk about who,
definitely.
Like, I mean, I know Leeds United was still a big club in football terms, but they'd not been in the Premier League for that amount of time. They were definitely a Championship club. Certainly not the Premiership winners
definitely.
from like the early 90s. You know, you can't
100%.
live on past glories forever. And I think for both these clubs, this is going to be the area that they do struggle a little more on. But I don't know, we've seen the RFL ignore on pitch performances before, so I don't quite know how well they're weighting these criteria in terms of most to least important.
Yeah, definitely. So now we'll move on to the last sort of criteria we've included, which is current squad, which I think is really good. It's got a mixture of experienced players with some good youth. It would definitely need a strengthening Super League. However, over the last season or two, it has definitely strengthened. You know, you got Chris Clarkson there, Danny Washbrook there, just to name a few.
Signings, and I think that really ties in with what they're trying to achieve.
Yeah,
they've been ambitious. They've brought in big players, but they've not done it stupidly.
Yeah, they've brought in the experience to match their youth that they've already brought up, like the players they've had for a few years now. So I think they would definitely need a strengthening Super League, as we have said for pretty much every single one of these teams. But I definitely think if the RFL are looking, right, let's look at the current squad and think who's going to need the least improvement. I definitely think York are the team that need the most improvement out of these, sort of teams we've selected.
And just going on to this as well, I mean, this is slightly away from the RFL criteria, but, you know, we all know how the RFL changed their mind, I don't know what. I've not seen a team in contention for these places that have been so active on social media and so pushing and engaging the fans in the way the whole Heartland expansion movement has done at York. And you know, that's been really well received by a lot of fans from a lot of different clubs. And if they're going to put that level of marketing into Super League, that can only be a good thing. And to be 100%. Fair, they're far enough off the M62 that I don't think it'd be fair to tarnish them with the M62 club brush either. So
no, it'd be refreshing, definitely.
I think that combined with their links actually makes them a very attractive proposition in terms of having in and around the top flight to actually grow the league. And for all the people that are, particularly the anti-Torontos out there, which we all know there was quite a lot of, probably as many as that supported them, it is still expansion, but it's done the way that they want in terms of growing the sport in this country first, in an area that actually I think there's a fairly good chance of being able to succeed in.
Yeah, 100%. I think we've definitely touched on that in this as well, with how the way the city is sort of moving modernly, and how the club has sort of come up at the right time, the new ground and everything like that. They're making all the right decisions. You know, look, I think you look
as well.
Yeah, you look at Jonathan Ford, the coach, and
all these clubs.
Yeah, they're all 100%. And like I say about Jonathan Ford, I think having that young manager in like that, and how he sort of come up with the club sort of thing, I think that's a really good model of success. And honestly, if they were in Super League, they'd be a fan favourite. They'd be a neutrals team. And honestly, I'm going to say I would love to see York in the Super League.
My heart wants
honestly,
to put York,
and that's from a Bradford fan.
My heart really wants.
Where
York
are you ranking them?
But
the $1 million question: we are ranking these in order of who we'd prefer to who we'd least prefer. You see the graphic on the screen. Where you putting them?
But I feel like I've got to judge this based on the full criteria, and for that reason, I don't know whether to put them second or third. I think that them and London are such similar clubs in the sense of what they're trying to achieve.
I'm going to have to push you for an answer.
Do you know what? I don't think the on-field performance matters much. I'm going to put York second, and that's a
second.
very close second. London.
They are behind Toulouse for you, yeah. Behind Toulouse for you.
I think Toulouse just have a stronger case overall.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. I am going to put them. I have mine currently ranked as London, then Toulouse, then Bradford. I'm going to put them in between the London and Toulouse, so second place for me as well. Just behind London, I think London's recent Super League experience helps. Yeah, 100%. I honestly, right, any of these top three that we both have, any of them get it, I'm not going to be mad. I'm a Bradford fan, and
so
I'm the fourth team on
this
list.
And the other one's dead against Bradford. We both have Bradford currently bottom out of 4 with Frank. So
yeah, honestly, as a Bradford fan, in the Bradford video, I would say I am just saying what the facts are, and I actually said I don't think we should get the spot, but I would not be surprised if we do get it, just because that's what seems to be getting rumoured around now, and a lot of things are pointing towards it potentially being Bradford. But that's by the by anyway. This is a York video, which I would like to say we have given a good overall view of York, and
we've given you quite
opinions
a lot of
as well as the facts.
So without boring you anymore,
yeah,
I think we'll sign off there. If you are interested in the other videos and haven't checked them out yet, please do. Playlist is linked in the description below. And if generally you think, is the Championship catching up to Super League? Could more than one of these clubs do a job in the top flight? We've got an entire video dedicated to that. Just click the eye in the top right corner, and to keep up to date with this, follow the playlist, subscribe, interact with us on social media, and until then, goodbye.
Goodbye. #Heartland Expansion.